I can't remember the last time I've been this excited about a white paint color. If you're looking for an amazing, light, warm white for your home, you're going to want to stick around for this video because I'm going to talk about a relatively new paint color by Benjamin Moore that checks a lot of boxes. Maybe you want an alternative to cloud white or simply white. Well, that's exactly what I have today in crisp linen CSP-305. And if you're already a subscriber, then you know the drill with these videos. But for anyone new watching, first of all, welcome. And second of all, I'm going to break this color down so you know what to expect when using it. And I also want to give you some color pairings that go alongside it, which could really help you put together a fun color palette for your home. Sounds fun? Maybe as fun as my t-shirt today? Then hit the all-important thumbs up like button for me, and let's get started. So why is picking the perfect white paint color so important in the first place? Isn't white just white? No. No, it's not. There's a reason why there's a plethora of off-whites out there to choose from because they all do some subtle things differently depending on your space. Over the past bunch of years, we have seen a rise in warmer whites being used inside. And those are those white paint colors that contain maybe a bit of yellow or beige or cream rather than gray, green, or blue. You may have heard me mention colors like Simply White or Cloud White earlier in this video, which have been very popular warm whites. But what if I told you there's another white paint color that is a touch brighter than Simply White, but still has a beautiful, lovely warmth to it? Oh wait, I already told you earlier in the video. It's crisp linen, and it's part of the fairly new Color Stories palette, or CSP color line that I'm obsessed with lately. As it currently stands, you can only get CSP colors in Benjamin Moore's Aura interior line, which is the caveat right off the bat, but at least they're forcing you into using really good paint compared to only being able to get it in a bad product. So how light is this color? Well, being branded as a white paint, it's obviously going to have a very high lightness score. And this is notated by something called light reflectance value, which is a 0 to 100 percentage point scale that tells us how much light a color reflects. And crisp linen is at a 91.87, which is incredibly light and bright. This means it'll be light enough to use as a white trim color. You can put it on your ceiling if you want that subtle bit of warm color cast coming from your overhead lighting. And if you use it all over your walls, it will read as white. The fascinating thing is, however, is that crisp linen has a little more noticeable warmth or saturation compared to Simply White, another very popular color, which was the previous king of bright warm whites. With a bit of added warmth, you would expect that maybe crisp linen would be slightly darker, but it's the opposite. It's actually lighter. Not by much. They do put themselves in a similar category of clean, warm whites, which is great because it gives us another option. And not to harp on Simply White too much, but some people do complain that it has an almost fluorescent yellow undertone, which can have a tendency to go a bit green with certain room setups. But on the flip side, crisp linen has more of a warm cream undertone rather than a straight up yellow, which could soften it just a tad more. I'm not saying one is better than the other, okay? That'd be crazy. Although maybe I should compare them in an upcoming battle video. Get hyped! Let's talk about some color pairings that I've selected for crisp linen, starting with another white paint color to go with it. I wanted to go for a little more contrast here, which is why I selected Snow White as the white pairing. This is another paint color that has a similar amount of lightness to it, with an LRV just under 90. But the clear difference is the cooler blue undertone found in Snow White that gives the biggest difference between these two paint colors. You can definitely incorporate warmer and cooler whites within the same space. In fact, that's one of the best ways to differentiate between two paint colors that are this light and bright is you just switch up the undertones. For example, if crisp linen was your wall color and you wanted a stark white trim color, Snow White would be a solid option because if you went with just a plain white that was not really cool or warm, the difference will be a bit too subtle. But by going with another white color that is just a bit cooler, the difference will be more noticeable. The light paint color pairing here is a beautiful soft beige with a gentle peach undertone present, and it's called Albescent. It has a 76 LRV, which means it's in that top quarter of lightness for all colors, but still has quite a bit of contrast or difference between the two white paint colors we talked about earlier. I like this color because it doesn't feel like a builder's beige to me, especially when used in person. That little bit of peachiness differentiates it ever so slightly, and next to Snow White, there's a really crisp difference between the two. And then with Crisp Linen, it's more of a soft switch of undertones, which could feel a little subtle, but still warm and lovely. I really like Albescent surrounded by cooler grays specifically, sort of like this gray couch in the photo right here. But I hear you all. There are some gray haters watching, some graders, as I like to call them, apparently. So my mid-tone color pairing is not gray. It's called Chilled Chardonnay, and sitting at around a 46 LRV, this mid-tone soft brown has not so much of a peach undertone like the last one, but more of an orange one, which finishes the color off with an almost honey mustard touch. Something about this classic color feels like a nearly neutral, almost neutral, but not quite. At first glance, it sort of seems like just a tan leather type of color, but really it gives you an interesting twist on brown that I think complements Crisp Linen really well. I mentioned I would stay away from gray, but for the dark color pairing, I guess we have a grayed out deep blue called Midnight Blue. I love this muted navy, and it's just the perfect color to finish off the palette. It adds this depth of color, but also reintroduces that cool blue found in Snow White. You sort of see the color palette progressing through this warm beige, brown, orange direction, and then it just gets capped off with this rich navy. It almost has a touch of a shaded purple undertone happening too. Tell me which color was your favorite out of the ones we spoke about, and here's another video that I think you'll get a kick out of. Have a colorful day.